What's up, folks? It's me, FZ-07, and today's demo is brought to you by Hiram Incorporated, or Doom Inc., as others like to call it. But today I'm going to do a ride-in review on his 2017 Triumph Bonneville Bobber. I absolutely love riding this bike. It's gorgeous, but you get the 21-inch tire up front, I believe. No, it's a 19 up front, I think an 18 in the back. Spoked wheels, chain driven. We just did his maintenance or his chain lube on that thing. Did the red paint with the black frame. Looks fantastic. Actually, they come stock with the barred mirrors. The whole stainless steel exhaust, which looks dynamite. A adjustable seat. It moves backwards. I don't know if his suspension is adjustable. It doesn't look like it. 1200 cc's low end torque. It has a slipper clutch. I love the detailing with the black chrome housings. The Triumph logo back here looks great. But the red, man, this thing looks fantastic. He opted to put heated grips on this thing, and he says they're fantastic. But let's get on this and let's go for a ride. As you can see, his key down here is chipped. I love Triumph keys. They put detail into it with his no shame, self-promoting. So we'll go ahead and put the ignition down there just to kind of add to the authentic bobber look here. As we turn this on, he's got the sweeping. The thing has two modes on it. It has so it's got a rain and a road. Of course, we're not going to do rain because the weather's 80 degrees outside. It's got a gear indicator. You can turn your traction control off. 39, 20, so just shy of 4,000 miles. Two dual trip meters, average MPG, and then actually I'll tell you how much gas you have on the thing. Let's go ahead and start this. So he's got 69 miles till it's the only one downfall of this thing is it has a small tank, so you can get about 120 miles to a trip because I think it's like a 2-gallon tank. As you can see, it's got a gas gauge, it's got a gear indicator. It didn't even tell you the time, RPMs, which is cool. Barred mirrors, man, this thing's fantastic. Let's go for a ride. This thing sounds so good, and it just looks good too. Out of all of the modern bobber, I guess, motorcycles, this one is by far my favorite one. Triumph has really stepped up their line this year with bikes. Man, this thing can just go. I gotta say, it's not as nimble as the FZ-07 is, but they're two totally different bikes. You just kind of feel like a badass when you ride this thing. There's something about the modern classic that Triumph has put out, especially on this thing. This thing is amazing. I mean, I like the subtle details, like the Triumph logo here and the Triumph motorcycle on the gas tank. You know, with the hideaway key, which is kind of cool. His heated grips button, which is kind of cool because it's integrated with the dash. So I turn it off, and there's low, and there's high, and there's off. So there's only three settings for the heated grips. And it also comes with with ABS, so I could slam on the rear brakes here, and it's not going to throw me forward or back, which I can see the usefulness, especially if you're a new rider with ABS. Again, look at this pretty ass red. I love this red. It's such a nice motorcycle, or such a nice color for a bike. You know, he's got Triumph on his grips there, on his spark plugs, and the attention to detail on this thing, man, is great. The Triumph down there, the Bonneville. It's a 1200 cc high torque motors, I guess is what they call it. So yeah, with just a switch of a button, you can change it from rain to road mode, and I think that just changes the mapping on the power, so which is kind of nice. Oh, it's funny because when we were in California, like out of all three of our motorcycles with with mine, this and Trav's FC. This thing definitely got the most looks, but it's not from who you want it to look at. Mainly just kind of older, middle-aged males were infatuated with this thing, which doesn't do him any good because, you know, but it's got a 2-piston brakes in the front and a single piston in the back. It does have ABS, like I showed you, and the traction control, which is all standard on this bike. I think this bike makes around, I want to say like 68 horsepower. It's got a nice backlit display on it from when at night. But it's got all hard lines for like the clutch cable and the brake cable, which is awesome. The suspension, I guess for Triumph, especially for a bobber like this, isn't horrible, but it's not meant to have a sport suspension to it. Ooh, gravel. Gravoli, a motorcycle's worst nightmare. This thing's fantastic. I thoroughly love riding this bike. Anytime I get an opportunity to do it, I will definitely take it. So try them in their bar and mirrors, man. They did such a good job on these mirrors. It's amazing what you can see behind factory mirrors. And it's great because I don't have to chicken when we get to see what's behind me, which is awesome. I love that about these bikes. The exhaust note is great. The stock exhaust isn't overbearing. It sounds good when you give it some throttle. Don't get me wrong. Has an option for a standard cruise control from the factory. The seat's great for short distances. I think on a long ride it probably would get uncomfortable because the sitting position's not bad. So comes the standard motorcycle gears, 1 down, 5 up. Man, this bike is just something about it, man. I love this bike. This bike is fucking great. So, there's a little gas gauge on the left-hand side there, and a clock. And I really dig the simplicity of the gauge cluster on this thing. You know, it shows you in abundance. It also has your high beam light, which is it's just a standard press to turn it on, just shut it off. I myself, I would much rather see at least dual rotors on the front, but kind of keeping the classic look to it. I can understand why they just kept it on one side, because it does kind of give it that timeless look, that's for sure. And I believe you can actually move the gauge cluster to make it a little more visible for you. The transmission on the thing is smooth as butter. And apparently the service life interval is like every 10,000 miles before you gotta do any type of oil change to it, which is kind of awesome. That bobber looked dope. Don't need in this lane, I gotta get in the other lane. Like I said, it's got enough power where you can downshift it and get it out of any kind of a serious situation if you need it, but you can shift it back up in the 6, man, and it just has a nice cruising speed. You guys did such a kick-ass job on this bike. I can see why it's definitely a fan favorite, that's for sure. If I was looking at getting some type of a bobber, I mean, I definitely would consider Triumph as my #1 contender for it. I'd be curious to see how Indian's new bobber is. Man, these modern classics are fantastic. I believe this one has the same motor as the Truxton R. I'll throw that video up in the top right-hand corner if you want to check that out. Both kind of I think same motors. The Truxton R has significantly more power than this one does, because it's more of a cave racer type bike. But I like how it has these little grooves through kind of knees, so you can kind of tuck in if you need to, because just tuck in and just go really, really fast. Yeah, and in windy days I can see you kind of getting tossed around, because there isn't any windscreen for this. It looks fantastic just the way it looks. Love those mirrors. You can actually see out of them. In all my review videos, I like to pretend to know what I'm talking about, but like I said, I know what this bike has and I know what it doesn't. It doesn't have a back seat for those lady friends. I don't think this bike was made to have a back seat on it. I think you sit on the rear fender, that'd be kind of weird. Something about it, man. This bike is great. Let's turn the heat of the grips on, even though it's 80 degrees outside. I'm kind of curious to see how they feel. I got some sweaty hands. The rosy palmer, you know what I mean. But the fact that it has a thumb switch for there, and you know, like I said, it incorporates it into the dash instead of mine's aftermarket. And if you're curious about what I have on my bike, I'll also throw that in the link in the top right hand corner if you want to check that video out. After a while, I think you get fatigued with the wind just kind of beating on you, but that just kind of happens with a bike that doesn't have any type of wind protection with it. Brights, lows, brights, lows, brights, lows, brights, lows, brights, lows. Man, this, I guess you can see it better from this side. But like I said, you get the single-sided disc with the spoked wheels, man. It just kind of gives it a nice classic modern look to it. I dig it. I like it a lot. Ah, it's just that easy, huh? Can move it up or push it down. Really isn't all that bad. I don't know. I mean, I kind of like it up, but I kind of also like it down too. But you can probably tell it's got a nice little background, like a white background, which I like a lot. Man, this bike is just such a blast to ride. Oh, good job, you saw me. Thanks. Yeah, like I was talking about, it's got that nice, pretty, clean white light behind it. Well, let's go take it to the top. Go do a nice walk around on it. Like I said, a dual exhaust, which is cool. And it's got the same parallel twin, just like the FZ-07 does. I like the fact that it does have a radiator guard with it. You get the nice detailing. I said the Triumph logo with the Bonneville 1200 HT, which is a high torque. So, because it is a torquey bike, it actually has a chipped key, so it will render it useless if it gets stolen. But the detailing on it, man, is great. All right, guys, this is going to end this video of the first impressions, first ride of the 2017 Bonneville Revolver from Triumph. If you like this video, please go ahead and give me a thumbs up, and please subscribe. It does help me out a lot. And also, if you like what you saw, share it with your friends. Let them know that I make world-class review videos from a person that's not easily impressed. Wow, a white car! God, I love this motorcycle. This bike's so badass. What's actually nice is you can take a key, put it down here, and turn around and lock your steering column, so ain't nobody taking it. There it is, guys. The 2017 Triumph Bonneville Revolver in the crimson red. It's real nice. Alright, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.